Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing mystery books. So in my last video on books for ages 8 to 12, I mentioned different categories. Mystery was one of them, and you guys seem to want a video with more mystery books in it. So I have compiled a list of my favorite mystery books that I have read at all ages since I was 8 up to now. So these are going to be just a stack of my favorite mystery books. Starting off is the one that I mentioned in my last video, and that is this Samantha American Girl mystery, A Clue in the Castle Tower. This is just a mystery with Samantha from the American Girl dolls. She's in there, and I think there are a ghost, or it speaks of ghosts in here, so just letting you know that. But these are fun, good for girls. It says on the back ages 9 and up, so I would agree with that, good age. The next one is one that I really enjoyed. Ancient history is not my favorite to study, but there are actually a couple of historical fiction like books that I have enjoyed reading from that time. This was one that I remember liking a lot. Whenever I was around 9 probably, I read this, the Detectives in Togas book, and it is about children in a Roman school who are solving this mystery. Someone wrote something on the wall, broke into the schoolroom, tied up his teacher, and they're blaming one of the students, and all of the students have to acquit their friend and prove that he's innocent. So this book is really fun. It's not even, murder mystery or anything like that. It's just a simple, harmless mystery, and you get some historical fiction in there, and it will teach you about Roman schools and things like that. So this is a great one. I would recommend. The back says ages 8 and up, and I read it at 11, but it's definitely for a younger age range. So definitely recommend Detectives in Togas. So the next one I would say, kind of leveling up from those, is this book, The Hidden Hand. I don't know if you can see, it's a very rustic looking book. This book is one of my mom's favorite books. It is part of the Lamplighter collection. They get old books and they republish them and distribute them, so you can buy these old books that they found in just people's attics. So this book, The Hidden Hand, is about a girl who has a temper. She's very spunky, just outdoorsy, not what you would think of as a refined girl in a book that was written in 1859. It's not the typical girl. This old man, Old Hurricane, finds her on the street. He takes her in, and he's just kind of like the grumpy old man who's all serious and everything. This is a mystery because you don't know who the girl is. You don't know what the past of this old man is. And it starts off talking about Old Hurricane and where he lives and his house, and then there are lots of different characters in here interspersed throughout the story. And in the end, they all come together. So it's not a typical, a murder mystery, crime mystery. It's just solving her birth and the different histories of these people, and they all intertwine in the end of the story. And there are some points where you're just hanging on the edge of your seat. It's a really great book. I would recommend this one. Yeah, I put this one here in order in the video because I don't remember any content that would be unsuitable for children or anything, just maybe, maturity, just heavier writing style, but I don't think that there's anything in here that would not be okay for children. So, The Hidden Hand by Eden Southworth, it's a really good one. The next in order, I would say, is The Complete Sherlock Holmes. There are 2 volumes of this. These are some of my favorite mystery books. This is what's got me started on mystery. I read these when I was 10, 11, 12. I read through all of them at least once. I think I've read the first volume twice. So these are the classic mystery books. Whenever you think of detective, you think Sherlock Holmes. He's very popular, but I love the Sherlock Holmes stories. Of course, there are lots that you can choose from. I don't honestly remember what my favorite ones were. They're all just really fun and great. A Study in Scarlet, I like that one, but just the little mysteries, and it made me really want to be a detective and to be as observant as Sherlock Holmes was. Whenever I was younger, I really just loved the Sherlock Holmes books. So I would definitely recommend those. There are, they do deal with murder and, yeah, I think they mostly deal with murder and there's blood and things like that. So maybe I wouldn't recommend it for sensitive younger children. But I'd say definitely once you're a teenager, read the Sherlock Holmes stories. You can pick any of them. They're not going to take you a long time to read. And of course, they're a literary classic, so you can say you've read that. Next, I would say the Cape Refuge books by Terry Blackstock. She's written a lot of other series. I know that this one and the If I Run series, they are Christian mystery novels. And I really enjoy these books. Me and my sister and my mom all read these last year. They are riveting books that will keep you on the edge of your seat. I love them. This one is about two sisters who live in this little town off the coast of Florida, I think, or off the coast of Georgia. And their parents run like a halfway house for prisoners who are released and are trying to lead a new life, and they can go stay at their house. So the dad is a pastor, and they're just helping people to get back on their feet to lead a new life. And the parents, Wade and Thelma, they are murdered. And it is the story of trying to figure out who murdered them, what's going on. Maybe there's things that they didn't know about their parents. And also it's a great story of faith, because one of the sisters is a Christian and her faith kind of carries her through all of this, and the other one isn't. She doesn't know where she is. She's kind of drowning in all of this emotional stuff. So it's just a really great story. There's actually 4 in this series. I would really recommend the first one. The second one has more mature themes in it. There's more things that happen with like a girl's boyfriend and things like that, so maybe I would hold those off until maybe older teenager. And of course all these books do deal with a murder or some kind of death. Use wisdom when reading these books, but they are really good books, and they do talk a lot about the Bible and about faith, and they're not a typical mystery book that's just depressing. So I really like Cape Refuge books by Terry Blackstock. If you've read any more of her books, please let me know in the comments and tell me which ones are your favorite, because I've heard lots of people talk about her other series and I'm really excited to read those. Next one is another classic book that you might not have heard of, but it is one of the classics. It was written in 1934. The Nine Tailors by Dorothy Sayers. We've had this one sitting around the house, and I didn't really know what it was, but apparently there's a lot of them because it's a part of the Lord Peter Mimsy mysteries. I finally picked it up last year to see what it was about. So this book covers a man who is found dead in a bell tower, and trying to figure out how he died, who might have killed him, what happened, and all the mystery that's surrounding this town, the characters who are in it. This is a really well-written book, definitely a classic just in the way it's written, and you don't really see it like at all coming until the end. Like, you can't figure out what the answer is until you get to the end. So I would definitely recommend this one. Again, does have to deal with murder, and I don't really remember. There might be some talk of affairs in it, but I don't remember what was in there, so I would look up some other reviews maybe, or just pre-read it. But it's not like any modern fiction, of course, because it was written in the 1930s. So yeah, I would recommend that one. The last book, I included it at the end because it is a Agatha Christie book, and her books are not Christian like some of these books that I have shown you are, and they can have more objectionary topics in there, but this one is my favorite that I like a lot. The Murder on the Orient Express. You've probably heard of this because a movie came out a couple years ago, and if you've seen that, I would not base your understanding of the book on that. There's a couple of characters that they add in and add personalities to that are not in the book. Other than that, it does stay pretty true to the mystery, so if you've seen the movie, you kind of know how it's going to end up in the end. But this book is so well written. Again, like the Nine Tailors, you don't see the ending coming until you get to the end, and it really shocks you. It's just, they leave you in suspense the whole book. It's really well written in that way. And all of the characters, you get to know them. It's like it's like the perfect mystery where each of the characters have these different personalities and their character traits, and you have to just examine them. You're seeing throughout the thing, you know, who is this? What do I think of them? How do they connect to all this? So yeah, I really like this one. There is some romance in here, and of course it does have to deal with a murder, and I think it does go into more detail than the other books that I've talked about on the murder, so I would just say that. But yeah, her other books I don't really like as much. They're definitely more mature, and one of them, it just wasn't something that I would even recommend to people. So I would be careful with Agatha Christie books, but this one is one that I like. There's some mystery books ranging from ones for kids that are fun and lighthearted, all the way up to Murder on the Orient Express. And yeah, I like how not all of these are about murder, obviously, because I don't want to read about a depressing murder very much, but definitely like Cape Refuge, that book, just with the Christian perspective, and there's so much hope in there that I would definitely recommend that one. That would probably be my favorite out of all of these. I really can't pick with the others. Hidden Hand and Sherlock Holmes, of course, are so good because they're classics, and Hidden Hand is just kind of in a different category than all of these because it has more depth to it and more lessons that I really like. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any more video suggestions, any other categories you want me to cover, please leave me a comment below. And if you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps me. And give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye!